What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle McCue, and here we talk about marathon training, running stuff. And today we are doing a 300-mile review of the ASICS Gel Nimbus 25. This is the first Nimbus shoe I've run in. I've run in a handful of other ASICS shoes now, Magic Speed 3, Nova Blast 3, and I feel like I've got a really good feel of how this shoe is supposed to function. It's a max cushion shoe. Yeah, we're going to get into it. So yeah, we're going to go over, some general specs just to give it to you. It's in my previous video of first impressions, but I think it's important for anyone who's stumbling upon this. So I'll give you some specs. I'll tell you kind of how I've been using it. Spoiler pretty much for everything. And then I'm going to tell you kind of how it's broken down, each piece of the shoe, how I feel like it's lasted for 300 miles. And then I'll just hit you with some final thoughts on it, how I might use it in terms of pairing with other shoes out there, and my general recommendations of who should buy this shoe. Yeah. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about the shoe in terms of specs. So this is the ASICS Gel Nimbus 25, a road shoe, a max cushion shoe with an 8mm drop, 10.9 ounces in a men's 10.5, a soft knit upper, FF Blast Plus Echo, and pure gel with a fairly conservative outsole rubber. Overall, it's a bit of a tighter fit, which is great for me, but some may want to go a half size up to make sure they have room. And I've been using it for everything, mainly because I didn't have any other shoes to run in at the time. I could have continued in the Nova Blast 3s, but I wanted to really get these to 300 so that I could tell you about them. So I use these shoes for everything. And I can tell you that they're great for longer runs, as you expect. The slower, the slogging out the miles. I got up to a 15-mile long run, and that felt totally comfortable. Great for these shoes, nice and easy. I did do some speed work in these. I would not recommend it for that, but I do think it can function fine as kind of like if you're out for a fartlek, you're doing some slow paces, you want to pick it up for about, a quarter mile or something like that. I just wouldn't, obviously it's a max cushion shoe. It's a daily trainer. It's not something built for speed. So I would stay away from anything that's really like a sustained speed effort. If you're doing, half mile intervals, 1K intervals, definitely not the shoe to try. I think to do that in, you could, I did, you'd be fine. Just definitely not the shoe for that. In addition to that, I would say overall, the shoe is very forgiving to multiple to a wide range of running styles. Depending on where you strike, I think you can still enjoy this shoe. The pure gel technology that is new is focused in the heel. So if you're a heel striker, you have a huge stack along with the pure gel in the heel, and even midfoot and forefoot. You've got a solid stack of that FF Blast Plus Echo. And obviously there's no plate or anything in there, so you're not getting any sort of pressure. It's a low rocker, no rocker. I'd say it's essentially a flat midsole. So it's a shoe that can kind of, I think is very versatile to any type of runner out there. In addition to that, I would also say that the shoe is certainly higher on the stability scale as opposed to maybe like a Nike Invincible, or like a shoe that has a smaller surface area on the outsole. It has a solid surface area for the outsole. I don't know why that was hard to say, and is a little bit more stable. So it gives you kind of a forgiving ride, but would be a good shoe for someone who maybe has ankle issues. If you're coming back from, a sprained ankle or something like that, the shoe might be better for you than a softer pillow-like shoe. Or if you're just someone that tends to take a lot of falls, you run on multi-surface type, runs areas, this could also be a good shoe for you that, yeah, I think it's going to give you a little bit more of the training wheel stability, as opposed to a super soft, cushy ride. Yet it's still kind of that. So yeah, you can take that anywhere you want. Another thing I would say about how I've been using it, which is not related to running, is I would just say they're a pretty good looking shoe. Like I got kind of the cream colorway. Obviously it looks like crap now. because the knit really kind of absorbed all the random dirt and stuff I ran through. But like I still wear these to work sometimes. I'm on my feet all the time. They're not super aggressive, like I said, with a rocker. So you can kind of like, they're good for standing in. And I think they look good. That might not be helpful to too many people, but I think it's a classy shoe that can fit in more comfortable settings, especially if you can wear sneakers to work. So like I said, I was using this shoe for literally everything for most of its lifespan with me. I was doing longer runs, a ton of essentially slow 3 to like 6 mile runs, just getting in those miles throughout the summer. And yeah, there's something really nice about how it hugs. It's plush. It gives you a lot of comfort. What I would say in all the right places. It does fit a little bit tight, like I said. I think that's probably because of all the cushion. And also they probably had to make it a little bit tighter because the knit upper kind of stretches a little bit. So if something's a little bit more form fitting, they got to build it to be a little bit tighter, so that it fits, it fits tight to the foot. I love the tongue. The tongue feels really great. It's kind of a thicker comfort, kind of a luxury style build, I would say, to the whole upper itself. But yeah, a lot of slow slogging miles. Great comfort, not too soft, but still gives you a little bit of that soft max cushion vibes, but definitely more, I would say, on the stability kind of element of a shoe that you want to do a lot of miles in, that you're not that you want to feel in control, I guess, at the same time of feeling soft in. Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, so after 300 miles, how is this shoe holding up? I'll start from the top, work my way down. The knit upper is now a gross shade of kind of that beige cream that it originally once was. That's going to happen when you get a light colored shoe. So the color of this slowly has diminished, but I would say overall with its structure, it's holding up really well. I mean, the cushion and everything around the heel, I've got some fraying on this material with it, where it kind of the heel tab goes into where the lace outlets start. The tongue's been awesome the whole time. It's gusseted. You have a very sock-like fit. That's a hard one to say. Overall, definitely a tighter shoe, like I said before. I did get a comment in my first impressions video, someone who said they had an issue with how tight it was, and switched out the larger insole, and got their own to make a little bit more room in there, especially the toe box, and they had success with that. So, pro tip, honestly, if you've already got it and the fit's not quite right, that could be a good solution for you. Otherwise, it does seem like a shoe where if you tend to go true to size and it's a snug fit, then I would go half size up for whatever you're doing. For me, I have a very narrow foot, narrow heel. So I tend to go 10.5. I tend to have a solid amount of room in that. So this one actually being a little bit tighter fits really, really great for me. And I would honestly say for me, this is one of the best fitting shoes from first step in to now over 300 miles that I've ever run in, actually. But I mean, that's very specific to me. So don't assume that you will just have an amazing time with this as well. So the FF Blast Plus Echo midsole combined with a layer of that pure gel in the heel has given me a fun, I would say, cushion soft, but still very stable ride over 300 miles. I definitely have a ton of creasing in kind of especially I would say on the inside of the midfoot. So maybe I tend to step in or put more pressure on the inside of my foot. But overall, I really can't tell you if the ride is a ton different from 50 miles to now 310 miles, which is a pretty great thing to report. It is what you would hope to report on a max cushion. This shoe should definitely be going 300 miles. But it's a very positive thing for me to be able to say, If I wasn't looking to replace this after 300, I think you could do 400 or 500, unless you're running on surfaces that are ripping things up. I have not had like any damage to the knit upper midsole, or when we get there, to the outsole. I do have, actually, I will say I've got some damage to the midsole. The biggest damage is me sliding my feet, because I've worn these to play pickleball twice. So caveat, if you have exposed, really soft running midsole, don't play court sports, basketball, tennis, pickleball. They're going to eat up your midsole, I promise. So back to your actual program. Yeah, and in terms of the outsole, it's pretty minimal rubber. It covers the important parts. The colorway that I got, I don't know if they're all like this, but the colorway that I got, the outsole rubber, that AHAR Plus, I don't know what that means, but it's what it's called, AHAR Plus. It's kind of only in select areas, but it's the same color, so it looks kind of flush. I love the look of that. It's smooth. I don't think, like, I didn't have any problems personally on surfaces, but I think if you were on a sleek pavement and it was wet, this is most likely not the best kind of surface to have, but it goes with, that's a setback of maybe a little bit of weight, or in general, you should be running slower in these, I'm guessing. So you should be a little bit more in control rather than maybe a speed shoe or a faster shoe. So minimal rubber, minimal outsole, a little bit on the heel, a little bit on the forefoot. I don't have a lot of damage other than, breaking down of some of the actual just surface parts on what looks like the front of the toe, and a little bit on the inside heel. I'll look at both at the same time. Yeah, exact same thing on both of them. Inside heel, more so on the right foot. That's interesting. And then more on the toe area. Other than that, I will say, I guess I got some cracking on the exposed midsole that is on the bottom. I've not had any issues with that. I don't think it's like, absorbing water or anything, but that could be a concern if those cracks kind of opened up and you were running in wet environments. But yeah, top to bottom, 300 miles. I tend to not destroy my shoes. So the first thing for me that goes is kind of that midsole. And I would say after 300 and I think 10 or so, midsole feels good. It's comfortable. It still has bounce to it. It still definitely gives me, I think, the support that I would want. And it's more of just like that old, reliable, nice fit. The upper has not stretched, I think, much. It still fits really nice for me. And I would say this is kind of like, I don't know about previous Nimbus shoes, but based on the other ASICS shoes, this is a really good partner to whether you're going with, a Nova Blast for those are your quicker days and your mid-tempo days. And then this is your slow shoe day. Magic Speed is a good shoe to pair this with. It just, for me, this is a shoe that makes really good sense for the other shoes that ASICS is making. And I would try again, 100%. So final evaluation, if you haven't picked up on my opinions by now, I think the Gel Nimbus 25 is a great shoe. I think it's a great daily trainer. It's not as soft as other shoes out there, but it does give you the stability and the cushion to go hundreds of miles, 400 or 500 miles. And if you're, willing to do some speed work in it, go for it. I will say if you're going for one ASICS shoe to rule them all and you want to do some speed work, probably go for a Nova Blast 3. But caveat, personally, I would say the Nimbus 25 fits better, at least for my foot. So for spending a lot of hours in a shoe and you're only spending a lot of hours in one shoe, that certainly is something to consider. The upper, it fits real nice. The knit is very luxurious, I would say. There's tons of cushioning in the heel, fun heel tab, cool look. The FF Blast Plus Echo is one of those, it's definitely the first Echo environmentally friendly kind of like recycled midsoles that I don't feel like I'm missing out on. And I think it pairs well with the pure gel. I'm not going to lie. I don't know who's doing more in that relationship. I would assume, honestly, it's more on the FF Blast Plus Echo midsole than the pure gel. But, if there is a role for them both to be playing here, I'm happy about it. So I guess keep going in that direction. It could just be something that ASICS likes because it makes them a little bit unique. I don't know. But it works. And then obviously, outsole is you'll tear it up if you tear it up or if you don't. But for $160, it's a great daily trainer. It's a great max cushion shoe. And hopefully you got something out of this little here review I made for you. But that's all I got for you. Definitely ask me questions down in the comments. I don't know if I'm retiring this shoe. I'm at about 310. I could totally run more miles in them. I don't think they're dead. I will say I just ordered another pair of shoes, though, that will definitely replace it in terms of purpose. Who knows? I'm definitely going to wear them to work more. They will probably be my new kind of daily work shoe now that I'm not running in them as much. Yeah. I'm supposed to be wrapping this up. Enjoy yourselves out there. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I hope I can help. I hope this video helped a little bit. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your runs. And yeah, peace.